Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. So this is the last part of this Twitter clone, and on the last video we were here until my vocal screen decided to cut down on me. But then let's just carry on. So what we're doing here is we are appending the verified password to the form data. And before we continue, guys, please like, share and subscribe, and I'll be bringing more of this, and soon we'll be starting with React Native and building 10 apps for beginners going to intermediate apps and everything. So yeah, please like, share and subscribe, and then I'll bring more content like this. Right, so here we inserted the verified password to the form data and the profile image to the form data, and this is the route which we are to hit in our back end. And we send the post request via Axios, passing in the URL and the data, and then this brings back a response, and then we alert the message coming back from the server. Right, and then the rest is basically the form that you guys know. So then because my vocal screen, I saw it late, but then it was not recording while I was still programming, right? So but then I also did the sign up form, but then literally the sign up form is just a copy and paste of the sign in is a copy and paste of the sign up. I just changed the state variables to only username and password because that's what our server wants. And then the rest handling form is the same. Binding of methods, as you can see, I still have the sign up. I didn't have list to change that, right? And then the same applies the URL, the form data and all that. And then here, because remember when we set our back end, we send back a token and a profile image link, right? So now that's what we want to send back to our client. So now if you come here, and then because I had this without knowing that my what we call my what's this thing, man, without knowing that my vocal screen is not recording. So now if I do that, you won't see the profile image. But then let's go and sign up. But then first we want to have our server running, and then we have our app running here. So let's have our server running, and then we go to sign up. So literally there's nothing fancy here. So after this we'll work on having a post for the tweet for the tweets that a user sends. So I made accounts, let's say junior, and that account will have a password of 1234567, right? And then I log in, and when I log in I can go back here, and then you'll see that profile image being put there. Now how is that profile image being placed there? When we go to the tweet box, since I saved that in the local storage, I get the item in the local storage and make sure that if there's no item in the local storage, I put an empty string, and then thereafter I have that URL here, and then I pass it through to that avatar, right? And then like this. So now let's move on to making the tweets, and then likes and comments, and yeah, and then thereafter making it real time, right, with Pusher. So now we go to models, make a folder called tweets, and then make a file called tweets. So we come here and say const mongoose is equals to require mongoose, and I say const tweet schema is equals to mongoose dot schema, and in the schema you need the user of that of the tweet. You need the person that posted the tweet, and say required equals to true, and you need the tweet itself, and that is a string, and you say required is true, and you need the file, if there is any file that this person wanted to send through with their tweet, and then it's not required, so required equals to false, and then default, let's set it to now, that if it's not there we set it to now, right? And then here we need the profile picture that we'll send of this user, right? I'll say string, I'll say required true. So why the profile picture? Because if you see here, when we go to Twitter, we have the profile picture, we have then the names and everything. That's what we try and replicate, right? So now let's carry on. Now what we then do is we now want to make the model, right? So say const tweet model is equals to mongoose dot model, and that is the tweet model, and that will be the tweet schema working there. And then we want to export this model. We say tweet model, right? So now we have the user, we have the tweet, and the file, and the profile. So now we can close that. So now you come to your routes, you make a tweets folder, and then you make a tweets.js. Now we come in here. This is where we want to set up the sending in of tweets or uploading of tweets. So we're going to say const router is equals to require express dot router, and then we say const we want to get the tweet model is equals to require. We go back up twice, we go to tweets, so it's that model. So we also want to access the user, right? Say const user model is equal to require require. So I go back up, go to models, go to user, go to that, right? So now we need to get cloudinary because we want to upload files, right? So the cloudinary is equal to require cloudinary.v2. that's what we want to use. And then we also want to have our JSON web token because we're going to be getting the token from the client, right? And then so finally we want to require that env so that we can access the token variable, the token secret key, right? Say that env.config, right? So now we have that. So now we can start with our upload route. The cheat route, right? So now what we do here is we say router. We say router dot post slash API slash tweet dash upload, and then here we say request response, and then in there what we want to do is we will be getting the token, right? So say token is equals to request dot header, and we will name it x auth dash token, right? So then we need to verify this token, right? So then say const verified token is equals to jwt dot verified, and then we pass in the token. We want to pass in the process dot env dot jwt underscore secret, right? Now that we have the verified token, this name is now broken down into the ID that we passed in and the issued at key. So let's say const user underscore ID is equals to verified token dot ID. So now we want to make this asynchronous because we want to find this user, right? So what we do, we then say that, and then say const user is equals to await user model dot find one whose underscore ID is equal to the user ID, right? So then once we get that user, I'll be omitting validations just to make this video short. So now once we get that user, what I want to do is now I want to make my form instance so that I can get the tweet that this person has sent, right? So say formidable. Now I need to instantiate, I need to require formidable, right, as my body person, right? So now we say formidable. So now I say formidable dot incoming form, and then I say form dot pass. I want to pass through the request, and this will bring back an error. or file or fields or files, right? So then I expect one field from this person, that is the tweet, right? And then I also expect files if this person posted any files, right? So then we say files, and then I can say file, right? I expect to get that. So now we need to check. We say if not file, this means that the file isn't there. Then it means that we only wanna send through a tweet message, right? So we can do the following. We can say log, and then we can say just to test, we can say send raw text, and then in this else part, this should mean that log send text and file, right? So then we want to take this route to the server so that we can test it out before we continue. But if we get errors, we know that we've validated everything that we need, right? So we then go to our server, and then we say app.use require, and then we want to require the routes, the tweets, and the tweet, right? So then what we do is we then go to our client. Okay, so we're getting added here. Schema, invalid schema can be true, is not a valid type. Okay, I might have done something here. So type string, what's happening here? I have user of the type string and required is true. What's happening in this thing? I seriously don't understand what's happening here. Invalid schema configuration. What's happening here? Okay, I really wonder what's happening here. Okay, so now that should be working, right? So if I say user of type string and then required is true, I shouldn't be getting an error there, right? Perfect. And then I say tweet of type string and I say required is true, also shouldn't be getting an error there. Perfect. And then I say file of type string and I say required is false, right? So now that is working, right? And then I say profile of type string and I say required true. That is perfect. That is perfect. And we forgot something here. That is the like. So why wasn't it working? I don't know. If you guys picked it up, can you please just tell me in the comments below. Let me say number. We say required is false, but then default is 0. And then for comments, the default will be an array. And we make an array right there, right? So now that will be our Again, so now we have that, right? So now that is our what we call, this will be our schema. So now what we need is to continue. So this is the likes, and then this is the comment, right? So now with that being said, this will be our schema for the tweet, the user, the tweet, the file, the profile, likes and comments. Now moving on, what we need is from here we need to what we call work with this one. So what we do is we come here, we go to our client, and we come to the tweet box, right? So in the tweet box, so this was done before this thing crashed on me last time. So what happened is I had stayed for the tweet message in the file, and then I append those contents here on my form data, and once I append those things on my form data, I then send an Axios post with headers called XAuth token, that which my server is taking, as you saw there, and I pass in the token, and then thereafter it brings back a promise, and then I alert the message with the server sends back to me. And this is just on change handlers, right? Nice and simple. So here is to disable the button if the user didn't type anything. Alright, so if there's nothing here, I won't be able to send anything. But then now if I say I have sent a tweet, now that should work for me, and I get some errors here. JWT must be provided. Right. So now let's see what this error is saying back to us. Because the env okay, that's weird, because we have that .env here, the JWT underscore secret. Oh, my mistake was not wrapping the header with what we call this, man. So I send that, and am I still gonna get any errors? Right, so I say send raw text, because when we send the raw text, and let's see now if we send a file. Let's put in that React. It says send in text and file, right? So we know that we are validating things right here, that if it's not file, we should do this. Right now what that means is, what we have to do here is say const new tweet is equals to new tweet model, and then from here what we want to do is let's bring up that model so that we can see how we need to structure our data, right? So we can bring it here on the side, and then we need the user. The user is coming from the user dot username. We have the tweet, which is the tweet that this person sent, and the file, there's nothing, right? So with the file, remember, we can bring a default of null, right? That's what we want to bring in when this person didn't send anything and my exactly don't get any errors, right? So there's no need to pass out that thing there. So remember, we also need the profile so that we can have that picture there. So we want to say profile. This will be the user dot profile underscore pic. I think it's like this, but then we can verify this by just logging out the user, right? We can just do that, and then we go to the client, we send that back there, and then we know that it's profile underscore picture, like that, right? So now we can just paste that there, right? The likes and comments would be a default of 0. So now we've validated this. So now I want to save this thing. I want to say const saved tweet is equals to new tweet dot save, and then we save that tweet there, right? So we then want to save this thing here. So now that we should be using an asynchronous approach, we then say async up there on the form data, on the form pass, and then we save that data, but then now we don't return any response, right? So now what we then do next is we now want to start with cloudinary dot uploader dot upload, right? We want to upload the cloudinary file, which will be the file dot path on the else statement, because now we know that file is involved. We then say folder, and in this folder we can now close this, and in this folder we want to say this will be the tweets slash files, right? And then this will bring back to us either an error or some results. I can call it error as res. So now I say if there's any errors, I want you to log all those errors back to me, and then else I want to say const file underscore URL is equals to res dot secure URL, and then now I want to say const new tweet, and then I follow that trend up there, right? New tweet is equals to new tweet model, and then I need the user, that which is still coming from user dot user name, and the tweet is the tweet that I'm getting, and then the profile is the user dot profile underscore pic, and then I need the file, that which is the file underscore URL, but then I wrote field there with only one else. I need to write file underscore URL, and then the rest should be default. Let's just verify that. So this file, this profile, and the likes and everything is just default values, right? So now that should work and save our tweet. Now I say const saved tweet is equal to await, and making sure that I add asynchronous here, and then I say new tweet dot save, right? And then out of this else block I then return a response dot status of 200.json with a message saying tweet sent, right? Now that should work for me. So now let's try it out. Let's see, and we're not getting any errors here. We're still clean, and let's go. Right, so I'll say this is my first tweet, and then I have the React PNG. I'm gonna send that. Let's see, tweet sent, right? And there's no errors here that arises and everything. So now let's go to our MongoDB and see if the tweet was actually made, right? So now let's just go check that out. Let's see. So we have the tweet model, and there's one document, as we can see there. There was one document, and then we have the profile, and then we have the file. So it looks promising to me. So in order to verify this, I can just check the profile, because I know that with the profile it must be that picture that I see there on Cloud.net, not on Cloud.net, but then on the client. That should be my picture. That's fine. And then now we go to this one. This should be the React icon, the React logo, and then let's see if that is fine. So we know that this is working just fine. So let's send forth many other tweets. So we can say like, share, and subscribe, and then I can send through the Twitter there. Send that, that's sent, that is sent. Let's just send in through, let's say 2 more, and then this is another one of my tweets, right? So we send that there, that is sent, and there's no errors that are coming up here, right? So all these are coming from one person. Let's just go and sign up with another account so that we can tweet with that account as well. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, we sign up, and then that should have been signed up, and then we go back to the home page. Then now we see we're on another account. Say this is another tweet by me, and then we send that there. That should be sent, and then we say love MERN. I send that there. Let's come with one more account. I think I had 5 accounts, but then I'll just work with 3, and then I'll say test 1, same password 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Don't save, come back there. That is all. Okay, so they're having the same icons. I hope it's correct. Say gang gang gang. I don't know what to do, guys. Let's just do that. Right, so now let's try and pull out those tweets in our home page. Right, so now what we do here now is we want to what we call we want to bring this tweet here to the home page. Right, now what we do is we then come to the client, and then we go to the feeds, and then in here we want to say feed, give that a class name of feed, and in this feed, before we do that, we need hooks. So use effect, we need the use state, and then what we do now, we then say const use state, not use statement. We then say the tweets, and set tweets. So what to use state, that is an empty string. I want to say const mounted, and set mounted. This should initially be a use state of true. Right, now we wanna say const, not const, but then use effect, and then on this use effect, what we want to do is we want to say make this an asynchronous approach. So what we do, we then say async, and in this asynchronous approach, I want to say const load data is equal to await, and then I say function, and then here when I say const data, data wrapped around it is equals to, not await here, but then const not that, man. So I want to say asynchronous here. Why am I confusing things? I want to say async, and then await Axios. I need to import Axios, and I say import Axios from Axios, and I say await Axios dot get, and the URL, let's say this is const URL, and we'll give it http/that local host net 5000/API/feeds. Right, so I want to get that URL. That's all that we want to do. And then say if mounted, I want to set tweets to that data that I got there, and then that's all. Now what I want to do is when this thing loads, I want it to load that data. However, I want to return a cleanup function that will set mounted to being false, and then this use effect is dependent on the mounted. Right, so that's what I want to do, and that should be giving me errors because in my console, because I don't have that I don't have that route made up in my server. So now let's go to our server and let's make that route. So we go to our server, we then say tweets. When I make an Axios get, when I make a router get, say router.get /API/feeds, and this should be asynchronous async and request response, and we want to await tweet model dot find dot exec dot then, and then this will bring back a promise, we say data, and then I return a response dot status of 200 dot JSON, and then I pass through that data, and then I catch any trailing errors, and then I'll dump them down in my console, right? So log those errors, right? So now that should work for me. So now if I come here, let's reload that, let's see. Right, so right now we're not getting any errors anymore, right? But now we want to log out the contents to see that we are getting this tweet. We then say tweet, right? Let's see if we are getting this tweet. As you can see, we are getting this tweet. We are getting this tweet, likes, profile, comments, right? Perfect. So now we want to render this tweet out. Let's look at how Twitter is handling things. So Twitter has the image here, it has the name and the tweet itself, but then one thing that you have to realize is the image, it's on its own, and the content here, it's on its own. So this is a container, there's a container wrapped around the big container, right? Hope that makes sense. That's how I'm looking at it in actual sense. And then we have these things will average from material UI. So now let's just start up with that concept in. So now I want to say if tweet and end, I want to say these are my feeds, right? And then in my feeds I need the user underscore profile, whereby I'll be using that avatar thing, so that I'll be getting from the tweet box. So I can copy this avatar import, that's what I'll be using to have that round shape, and then I'll be using that component, and then I say avatar, and that will take in an alt attribute, that will be the user profile, and then it takes in an src source, right? If I'm not mistaken, that's how this thing works exactly. It takes in the source, and the source will be coming from tweet.profile. Okay, so what I have to do first is I have to map through this whole thing. That was my mistake, guys, I'm sorry for that. I have to map through this whole thing, so I have to say tweet.map. So I have to say tweet.map, and it will be the tweet that will return some JSX, that will be the feeds underscore content, and in this feed underscore content we'll be having that avatar, which will have an alt, and we'll say user profile, and the source is the tweet dot profile. Now that should work, I believe that should work. And why is it not getting that tweet? There you got it. So let's see if we are displaying those profiles here, right? See if we are getting those profiles to display, and we are getting those profiles displayed, because this is the person, so the people that made those tweets, right? So now what next we want to do is we now want to have another container, but then here I should wrap it around its own container. So we just cut that and say user underscore profile, whereby we have that thing. And then now we want to have another container that will be the tweet message itself. And this tweet message must have, if we look at this, they have a name with their tag in light gray, right? So I can have another container saying user, and then I have an h3 that will say tweet dot, I said user, and then that other one will be h3 that will be at, so I'll use template strings and say at, and then do that and say at tweet dot user. So that one I will style it and give it some light gray, so we have that. And then finally I need to have, not finally, but then underneath that I need to have the message, which we just give it an h4. Let's say tweet dot tweet, right? That is the tweet message. There we go. And then now I need to have the message, the file, if it is there, but then I need to conditionally check that. I want to say if tweet dot file, is it there? If it's there, I then want to show that file, and that file will be coming from tweet dot file, and then I say file. So else if it's not there, I just show null, right? That's how we can conditionally render those things, right? I don't know what's those errors, man. So I want to conditionally render those things. As you can see, on other tweets it's not there, on some tweets we have it, right? So now we have that said and done. Now we need to style this thing. Now we go to our, what do we call our tweet file, CSS file, home feed, I mean. And in this home feed we can take it to the right, and what we want to do is we want to come here to the feeds. If I'm not mistaken, let me just see. Oh, we need the feeds content, right? So this feeds content is the one that we want to display flex on, and that should do us justice, having that on the side and that thing. And then we want to give this a margin left of, let's say, 1em. That should take me to the side. And I want to give a margin bottom, a margin top of 1em. Gave that there, that's perfect. Now I want to deal with this content, this tweet, right? So I want to shift this tweet also a bit to the left, let's say 0.8 ems, and then that should do, that is nicely shifted. And then I want to take this user display flex as well to it, because that is the one, remember the name and its tag. I want to display flex, there we go. And then now I want to have class name for this one, and we say user underscore tag, right? For this user underscore tag, I want to give it a color of light gray, right? That should be that light gray. And then I want to margin left it a bit as well, margin left it, let's say 0.8 ems. We should have that fair amount of space. So now what I want to do is okay, so I want to at least give this whole tweet a background. So right now it's me adding my own styles. You guys can try add your own styles. Alright, so this tweet, let's give it a background color of, let's say, light, not light gray, let's see, I don't know if light gray would do. Okay, that color is decent, as long as I'm not that good in styling, guys, so bear with me. So so this is me just trying my own stuff here. Right, so I can give it something like that. However, I want to pad this thing in. I'll say padding of 1em. That should do. we pad those things in. That's perfect. And then I want to take this so let me see this, and that is filling that whole screen, right? That's perfect. That's perfect. That's perfect. That's more perfect. And then what I want to do is I want to come to that image there, which is the file, so which is the only image in the tweet. I want to say tweet with the tweet image. I want to give it a margin top of 1.5 ems. Okay, that's not that big, right? That's perfect. And let's have an on hover effect for this tweet thing. Let's have an on hover effect. Let's oh my goodness, let's fix that. We come in here, bring that there, we make an on hover effect, just giving it my flavor, guys. You guys can do whatever that you guys think it's suitable for you. What I want to do is I want to transform this thing and then scale it up by 1.05, and then here I want to transform, and then 0.4 seconds, right? Now I should have that on hover effect right now. When I hover on this, I should have that effect, right? So just some simple styling, and we have those tweets there, right? So now what I want to do is I want to add those icons, right? Let's go to Material UI, so Material UI, and then thereafter we try and make this thing real time, and then our job here is done, guys. So now let's go to Material UI, and then we get those icons. So Material UI, let's say icons. We want to get the HUD, we want to get the download, we want to get the comment, right? Hopefully I'll get these things, hopefully. So if you're liking this and you're liking if you want to add features to it, you can build out from this, you see, guys. So here we then say like, we can have that, then we take that there, we paste it, and then we can have the comment. Come on, man. And I want to have the comment, and it's giving me this. It's fine, I'll take this one. We put that there, and then we want the retweet. Okay, let's just take that one, and then finally we are given that download. Let's just take this one, it's fine, guys. It's fine, we're not getting those icons properly. So now what we want to do is we want to have them right here, right? So which means it is under that image. So now how we do that is, let's see the structure of this. Let's put this to the side a bit. So it should be here, but then underneath here, I'm just trying to see. Okay, so it should be here, right? So now this needs to be in its own icon. We'll say not icon, but then container. So now we need to say because I'll also add numbers to it, because I won't be displaying the content of comments, but then I'll show you how to add that real-time effect. Now we'll say likes, and then here we'll put in the what is that icon, favorite something, favorite that, and then here to display the number I'll say maybe h5, and then I'll say tweet dot likes. I think I named it like that, and then I say class name of comment, and then we have the message icon, and then I'll have an h5 that will be of tweet dot comments. So this one I use the length of this thing, so comments.length, because it's an array, and then the rest, because there's no numbers in the retweet, I won't be working on that, so I can just write the get app, it's fine, write them like that, and then write them what's that one, I think it's the replay, right? So now I should be having those icons there, right? So there we go, we have 0 0 0 for those ones. So now we come in here, we now want to grab the likes and display flags on that one. Actually, before we do that, let's display flags on the icons themselves, all of them. So I want to display flags, and then let's say justify content space around, that should maybe be decent. Okay, that's decent enough, that's decent enough for me. And then now I want to come to the likes, and also the comments will be adhering to the same CSS. So I'm going to say display flags, and then align item center to align the number and the icon. Now that should work. There we go, we have that there. So now we want to come here to the icons, and then we want to margin top of 1em, just to give it some bit of spacing there. So we have that spacing. So now if you saw there on Twitter, if I have on this, it gives me a color of red, different colors, right? Blue, red, that, and so on. So now what I do is, now I can say UI color picker, something that I learned. It's a very, very nice thing. And then now when I get this colors, right? So we then say likes on hover. We want to give it that red, which will be, let's say, this one. I want to say color of that. And then comments, let's give it a blue. It's fine, let's just give it our colors, whatever we think. We don't have to follow what's there. Our aim was functionality, that was the most thing, and that's what we've been, oh my goodness. Let's say blue, let's get this blue. And then this one, let's say class name, let's say download, it's fine. Right now we're at the end of this build, so at this point I'm a bit drained, and it's like whatever with colors. Let's give it this green, I like this green. And then let's give it a class name, let's say retweet, and then let's give it a color, what we see here, let's say this purple, the color that, but then it should be on hover, right? We come in here, we have on that, okay, so comment, okay, what does it look like? It's only that, okay, everything is working just fine, right? So now let's deal with this real-time functionality. Not real-time as yet, but then the like and the comment, and then the adding of new tweet, right? So let's start with the like and comment. So now we can close the CSS, and then we come to this one. So we say on click, and then we say that what I wanted to do, I want to say tweet dot underscore ID, so that I can get the ID, not like this though. It should be an anonymous function that we'll call in the like function, and then I pass in the tweet underscore ID. So now we will be making that like function. So we can close this thing, is no more needed. So we do that, say const that that, which will be accepting an ID. So if I can right now show you that, we can say alert ID will be passing through the ID that we want. I can refresh. I don't know why we can refresh that. We have that ID. We have that ID. As you can see, you have different IDs. Right. Now what we want to do is we want to click on that, and then it should send back a request to the server. Now let's set up this route. We then say router.post API/likes, right? And then this should be asynchronous with a request response. And then in here, this thing should also take the ID of the post there. So what we want to do is we want to say const tweet underscore ID is equals to request dot params dot ID, right? And then we want to say const the tweet is equals to await, and I say tweet model dot find one, whereby its underscore ID is equals to the tweet underscore ID, right? So then we say tweet dot likes plus equals to 1, and then what we then do is we then say const updated document is equals to await tweet model dot find one, find one and update, whereby its ID is equals to the tweet underscore ID, and then we update with the tweet object that is within our memory, and then we say new is true, right? And then we then return a response, and then return a response dot status of 201, saying that okay, your like has been inserted. Same message of liked tweet, right? Now that should do. Let's just somewhat do for the post. The post should adhere to the same thing, but then the difference is we'll do the very same thing, but then we don't do this, right? Now what we do with the post is we want to say first thing, we have the tweet right here, right? The tweet document. So let's just remove this. We can have this in our clipboard because we'll be using the very same thing. So now we have the tweet right here, but then the user will send in the tweet message, the comment message, I mean. So now we want to instantiate our formidable so that we can extract that message. Formidable dot incoming, we say dot incoming form, and then we say form dot pass request, and that will bring an error, and it will bring back fields, it will bring back files. So now we expect a comment, that's all, from fields, right? So that's the only caveat here. And then what we then do is we then say tweet dot comments, right? I think it's comments, if not comment. Let's look at our object here that we got here. That is, just refresh that, and then we no more logging this thing out. So what we can do is we can come back here, and then we log the tweet so that we can see. I'm ready to go to MongoDB. So we say log tweet, right? So now that should come back to me. So here we go. So we can see we have this thing. We said this is the comments, so that's what we want to get. So we say tweets dot comment should be equals to, so we want to keep all those comments there that are there. We want to say tweet dot comment, we want to keep all those there, but then insert now this new comment, right? And then the rest, now we apply the same thing of updating this document like so, right? And then we return a response of whatever that we wanna return back to the user, back to the server. Now we're getting that, right? So how we do this is we want to have this as asynchronous, and then now everything should now come back to us now well and fine. So now the only thing that we'll have a problem is when you're dealing with this, right, the liking and everything. I want to like on this thing, and this will make it real time. But then the only way that I found a solution is I could do that in the background of adding the number of likes, and then in the client I manually add myself. But then because I'm avoiding what you'll see when we now upload a new tweet and then we have it on the top, so I'm avoiding that. Or maybe I just didn't find a solution. But then if you refresh that number, because you'll be getting that very same number from the server. I hope that makes sense, unless you guys have another solution. But then this is the solution that I thought of and might work. I haven't tried it, right? So now what we then do is we need Axios. So we have Axios, hopefully that we have. So now we have the ID, right? But then we want to get the token. No, we have the ID. We just want to send the ID, right? So we then say const so this is the like, right? I'm just thinking the const URL is equals to API HTTP that localhost /API /likes, right? Say axios.post. I want to post that URL, but then remember I need the ID, so we make this as template string so that I can append this ID here. So we make that as template strings and then append that ID, right? So then we say then, and then if that's it, I want to just log out the rest and then catch any trailing errors, right? Catch any trailing errors and we say error. That should do. Now let's see. So let's press this thing. We press the like button. Nothing went wrong there. Let's refresh this. Let's see if that will be 1. Okay. So it's not working. I don't know why. So I press that. Let's see my console. So we're having oh, I said localhost, but then I didn't mention the port 5000. Right. So let's refresh that. And let's send that back there. Let's refresh the page. Let's see if we have the like. There we go. So we're having the like being appended on this specific thing, right? So we can like this. Refresh. We have those 2 likes because I pressed twice. I pressed 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and that should give me 3 hopefully. Oh, it gave me 2, right? But now it's fine. So now let's do with a comment. So now with the comment, what I want to do with a comment is I'll prompt the user the comment that they want to make. Let's do that. Let's say comment. So let's make this route as, I think I made it as comments, I don't know. Let's make it as comment. So now we want to prompt a user of the, what we call, of the message that they want to send, but then I won't be displaying that. I'll just be displaying the length of their, what we call, their comments, right? So I'll say const the comment is equals to prompt. So right here won't validate this. We'll make sure that we'll assume that the user, when they press, they will always comment. I'll say enter a comment, right? And then on that I say const data is equals to new form data, and that will be data dot append the comment. That is the, okay, that is the comment. What am I saying? That is the comment, right? I hope that's what my server is taking, comment, right? And then I send back an axios dot post on that URL with the data and that brings back a promise. I say res, and then I log out the res, and then catch any trailing error if any is there. I say log the error. Right, I wonder what's this error. Okay, find that error there. Right, now that should have solved my problem. There we go. So now we want to send a comment. I don't know what this error is, man. I don't know. So let's just click on this. Okay, so I need that to call that function, right? So on click of the comment, I want to call that function. I'll say on click. I shouldn't forget that I should pass on the ID, right? So on click, I want to call comment, and then I pass on the tweet dot underscore ID. So it is comment, right? I believe I'm calling the right function, comment. Right, it should be the right function. Now I click on this, it tells me, so this is what I love about React. And I should send that, and then let's refresh that. Let's see if we're getting the length of 1. There we go, we're getting the length of 1. Now this one would need me to go to MongoDB to see if this comment was appended to my array. Right. So I believe this is how maybe comment system is made. This is the first time of myself making comment system and everything. So I believe this is how maybe they're made. So I come into this array. This is what I love about React. So now obviously the same thing would work for every other thing. Let me just add one. We like, should work. Right. So but then right now what I want to do is, so for the likes and everything, I'm not sure how to make them real time, but then I have an idea for the posts. Now let's get to the post, which I think I have an idea of that, right? So with the post we'll need pusher. So we come in here, let's say pusher. So with that, what do we call, man? With the comments and everything, the only way was to append them within the client, and then obviously the backend has already appended them, and then when you refresh, you have an equivalent of the backend. So that is one thing I could do myself, because that is the only idea that I have. But then the one that I can show you now is pusher. So let's say sign in. So you guys want to make an account with pusher, and then I'll sign in with my Google account. Something that doesn't work, I'll need another Google account. You need to sign in or sign out. Let's use this one. This one is non-personal. The internet breakaway. So now we do that, and then what we want to do is let's come here to good thing is I already made one. Let's say create app. So the app will be Twitter clone, and then here I want to say create environment. So this will be for production and everything. So I want to choose the front end, which is React. The back end is Node.js. We create this app. As simple as that. So now let's start with Node.js. So you need this on Node.js. So you will need to run npm. Let's just go do that. So let's close this thing up. So we'll need to run npm install pusher. Right, install pusher. So let's close this. Let's go to our backend, which is the tweet. So let's paste this even up here. We can paste this right here. So I paste that there. But then I need to use const, right? So I thought I saw var there, but it's fine. So my channel name, let's say tweet feeds, and the event that I want to trigger should be okay. So let's wait a minute about this. So what we want to do is we want to say const dbean is equals to mongoose. Let's import mongoose. So const mongoose is equals to require mongoose. Right, and we say mongoose dot connection. So I'm going to say const tweet feeds is equals to db dot collection, and the collection is tweet models. Right, so I want to say const change streams. I need a change stream that would be tweet feeds dot watch. Right, so now what we do is we want to make an event listener. Right, so we want to say change stream once the event is change. We want a callback function to run. Right, and this callback function will take in change. Right, so now what we can do is we want to say log, and then we can log the change. Right, so now let's see this. So now in order to do that, let's go to our client and let's upload another tweet. So this is a tweet. Oh no, we need our app running, so I want to say run dev. Right, because we'd have errors, unnecessary errors. Oof. Collection.js. What's happening here? Collection methods watch is synchronous. So what I need here is what's happening now? Just look at that error. So it says that is synchronous. Doesn't make sense to me. Should it be collections? What's happening now? Wonder what's happening there, to be honest. DB with collection models, and nothing is saying there. Right. Okay, so let's look at our code. How does it want to make this? How does it want me to make this synchronous meanwhile you having? It doesn't make sense to me. You see this thing of like taking days of not working with something, you tend to forget these tools. Let's say, okay, hold on. Okay, so let's say db.once this thing is open. Right, I want a callback function from this thing. I want to say const tweet collection, and we get that collection, and then we need a change stream that will be watching our collection. So then thereafter we want to bring this, and we need an onChange handler that will take in a parameter of change. Thereafter here we logged this so that we can see the full document. Right, so but then we want to trigger pusher, putting in the channel name and the event, and then we push this. Right now let's go to our client and actually work on this. Right, so right now what we do is we then say coming here, we then want this code here, and then you npm install pusher.js. So then we want to have a use effect, and within, come on, and then within this use effect. I want to drop that code exactly as it is. I say const, and then the channel name is the tweet feeds, if I'm not mistaken, the tweet feeds. I bring that there, and then my event is insert. So right now, if I were to test it out, this should give me what I need. If I say yes, right, and then I tweet that, I get that, and then I should get an alert of that tweet message in a second now. Okay, that is weird. Okay, this is weird. Okay, so this is weird. I'm not getting it. Is there anything that I'm getting in my console? Any errors? No callbacks on the insert and anything. And I'm getting my event, which is the data. Yes, I am getting that event, but then it's not alerting me. And I said that I wanted to alert me. What's happening with this thing? Let's give it a arrow function, and then JSON that stringify. That should give me what I need. Let's go to this. This should change tweet insert, and then push to the trigger that full document. Right, let's say test, send that, and I should get my response from the server. Is there any error that I'm getting? Oh, my server still starting on port 5000. That go, that is sent to me, but then that data is not coming out here. This is weird. Now how do we restore this? Let's see, this is not the ideal solution that I should be at. This is weird. Okay, oh my goodness. Collection should be tweet models. Why am I should be tweet models? I should say db dot on once. Okay, so we come in here. Let's just do this properly. So say db dot once open. I want to return a callback function that log mongo open. Right, let's see that. Yeah, you should get that mongo open. There we go. Right, now what I need to say is the tweet const tweet feeds is equals to db dot collection, which is my tweet models. Right, and then I say const change stream is equal to tweet feed dot watch, and then I say change stream dot once dot on change, should be an on change, I believe, should be an on change. I want to have that change, and let's log the change. Let's see. So now that shouldn't give me any errors, I believe. There we go. So now let's just send anything. Let's just say test, and then we need to see that change stream here. Here we go. We see that change stream with the insert. Right, so now we know we're getting our change. Right, now we need to push a dot trigger, and we need to have a channel that is the tweet feeds. That is the tweet feeds. And on this tweet feeds, I want to have an insert event, and then I need my content that will be the change.for document. That's what I wanna trigger, right? So then now my server should be up and running like this. Thereafter we come to this one. So for this one, what we want to do is, let's just do this. Let's alert, it's fine. What I want to do is I want to set tweets to the data.content that I'm receiving, and then I keep those tweets that were there. However, I want to unsubscribe from this thing so that it runs only once. So I want to have my cleanup function. So channel.unsubscribe, and I also want to unbind. So channel.unbind all, like that, right? And this should be dependent on my tweets, I believe, and that should run just fine. So let's see, let's say checking real time. So let's send that tweet, send that there, and this should pop up here at the top, hopefully, and it's not. And there's something wrong with my React. There's definitely something wrong with my React, and it's no more even taking in the images. Hectic. Okay, so let's say this is it, hopefully, and I wonder what's happening. I really wonder what's happening. Okay, grab this code, right? Let's grab this code. Let's insert it. Let's remove this thing here. Let's grab everything that is within here. Let's paste it like that. Let's have const. My event is insert. The channel is tweet feeds, right? Let's see. Oh yeah, this thing. Okay, there we go, guys. I don't know, so we're getting this thing now. So now what we want to do now is just remove that. So now we're getting back that real-time effect. So now what I want to do is when I say set tweets to the data.content, because you remember how we structure that object, that is data.content, and we want to use the spread operator to keep the remaining tweets, and then we want to have our cleanup function, excuse me, whereby we say channel.unsubscribe, and then want to also unbind, right, and unbind all. So right now this should work, guys. This should work for sure. So then we say like, share, and subscribe, and we send that tweet. That should come up at the top. There we go. No refresh, nothing. And then say this is real time. We add an image, we add that node, we send a tweet, no refresh, my mouse is here, and it should come out in a second. Hectic. There we go, just pop that there. And then we say React Native soon, guys, soon, React Native soon, and we have that real-time effect there. You guys saw that yourself. So if you guys liked this video, please like, share and subscribe, and I'll bring more of this. And goodbye guys.